Hello everyone, this is Tactical H here and welcome to another battle replay. Today we are having a game of tournament finals between Human Boy Yes Yes, a YouTube content creator, experienced tournament host, and also a Skaven main, versus Voins in the Old World versus New World tournament. Some of you might have seen this battle live already, but I still want to showcase this because of a very unique formation in Human Boy's Yes Yes army. You can see here he is deploying the army in a formation of chevron shape, with a lot of layers of troops. Skaven slaves in the front, more Skaven slaves in the second rank, and then there are more Skaven slaves layered to protect these Poison Wing Globadiers, Warlock Jezzails, and Ikik Zap Zap. At the back, a single Skaven slave spears to protect the rear of the artillery, reinforced by some Red Ogres. As for single entities, we have the Helped Abomination, an Assassin, a Plague Priest, and Death Master Snickage in the front. As for the greenskins played by Voins here, with a bunch of Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers, Spider Riders, the melee variant, some Wolf Rider Archers, and a wide line of greenskin infantry supported by a couple Rock Lobbers. Also reinforced with some Stone Trolls, led by Grimgor Ironhide, a River Troll Hag. Now, the reason why I say this formation is unique is that there are a lot of layers of troops that concentrated on a relatively small front. Being only 3 units wide, the single entities can easily reinforce each flank by running a short distance, basically only that much distance they need to run every time they want to move from one flank to another. The single entity advantage of the Skaven end can really shine through in this fight, as they can guarantee support to every front on the melee engagement. The right flank counters the low morale of greenskins, as the Helped Abomination will be terrifying troops nearby. Plague Priest on the Plague Furnace will be covering this whole front with a bunch of spells, the supporting auras, and debuffs and whatnot. While Deathmaster Snickage, being a foot character with limited speed, can easily bounce between different flanks to assassinate any characters that tries to come through. So the whole front line is well supported. In contrast, enemy units stuck on multiple layers of Skaven chaff will be subjected to firepower from the Poison Wing Globadiers, Warlock Jezzails, and the Ikik Zap Zap, and they cannot exactly flank around either, as they will be isolated from other troop support, being countercharged by Red Ogres and whatnot, making the whole rushing attempt a lot more difficult for the greenskins. To quickly sum up, a unique formation that you'd never see in other battles. This is not exactly the usual box formation where there is only one layer of defense troops, where they rely on monsters in reserve and red summons to hold that one single line of defense. Instead, this whole Skaven formation are like Red Ogres, they are reds with layers. The Skavens will be throwing in their chaff in waves, one after the other, delaying the enemy's advance, buying time for their missile units, dishing out maximum firepower with the different layers of range power. We have the long range of the Ikik Zap Zap, sniping out the River Troll Hag, the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. The Warlock Jezzails can counter skirmishers and also light cavalry, while the Poison Wing Globadiers will be responsible for that short range fire support. Being in such a small circle, even with the short 85 range on these Poison Wing Globadiers, they still have enough range to support all fronts. And as the greenskin slowly pushes forward, the River Troll Hag has taken significant damage from the Ikik Zap Zap. You can see already routed there, the regeneration is not enough to make up for the burst damage from the Warp Lightning. So to try to soften up the Skaven resistance, Voins will be pushing up the skirmishers, unleashing their bow fire, shooting at the Red Ogres, trying to lower their HP, but it is not exactly too successful here. The Goblin Skirmish Cavalry takes time to build up their damage, while the Orc Shaman at the back went for a Gaze of Morg there, hoping to use that magic missile to kill off some artillery models. But unfortunately that is not happening, as they continue to roar in Warp Lightning, sniping out the Giant River Troll Hag. In the front line we have a Pestilent Breath from the Plague Priest, blasting away some of these unbreakable Night Goblins. As for the rest of Greenskin Infantry, as I said, they are being delayed by a horde and horde of Skaven slaves, even some summoned clan rats over here. In the middle, due to the AP loonies being unbreakable and the support of Grimgor and some Goblin with chariots, the first layer of Skaven slaves are broken off. A second layer of clan rats with shields are flooding in to hold them back, alongside with a lot of single entities here. The Skaven Assassin is activating all his debuffs, the River High Talisman lowering the attack of enemy units in the area, and the Helped Abomination is just curb stomping all these Goblin with chariots. The first wave of Green Tide is being successfully held back. especially over here where the red ogres are flooding in with the support from the clan rats being summoned. The first layer of stone trolls are being pushed off due to all this missile fire at the backlines. Same goes for the other flank where the orc boys are terrified by the towering helpet abomination. Some of the orc boys and goblins successfully get into a second layer of defense, but the red ogres and the Skaven slaves countercharging is stopping them, allowing the warlock Giselles to keep firing. And it's not like the greenskins' mobility can charge in either, with the presence of other Skaven slaves threatening to bog them down in melee. With the front line with all greenskin infantry routed, Grimgor, oh no, is being isolated by multiple Skaven assassins, one of them the Deathmaster himself. And this is not an engagement he wants to be in, as multiple single entities of the Skaven, all of them armor piercing, one of them armor sundering, and in the whole process Grimgor is being hit by a bunch of debuffs, including the poison. Grimgor being debuffed by Poison Weeping Blade, being bullied by the helpet abomination, surrounded by single entities. Despite being the best, he is still getting crumped in this combat. And throughout the whole time, the Skaven artillery are still online. Even the Poison Wind Globadier is being pushed away initially, it has returned, chucking their gas grenades into the orc boys, killing them with the poison wind effect. While Grimgor is being chased off by Deathmaster's Nickage, the orc shaman being isolated is now hunted down by the helpet abomination, eliminating the last of the greenskin leadership. And the greenskin forces are quite literally in shambles now, with their units scattered all over the battlefield, being constantly routed by the helpet's terrifying effect, divided into different pockets of troops that cannot exactly form effective offense. The goblin spider riders are roaming around shooting at the cheap Skaven slaves, not exactly the best use of their ammo, and now they will probably be better off charging into the Poison Wind Globadiers. At the back, the goblin rock lobbers have been firing the whole time, dishing out some considerable damage to the warlock Giselles and the Poison Wind Globadiers. And now the skirmish cavalry finally able to charge into the fray, swarming the Ikik-Zap-Zap, but the reinforcements from all these Skaven slaves, more Skaven slaves, and the hero squads are coming back, returning to the fray, pushing off the skirmish riders once more. And in the front, we have the stone trolls being shattered by the combination of Deathmaster and the helpet abomination. Some red ogres are supporting as well. Honestly, this is looking bleak for the greenskins, as they do not have enough melee prowess to rout off so many Skaven infantry. The clan rats, Skaven slaves, they have the numbers advantage now, and also the Ikik-Zap-Zap has returned their crew to the artillery. Combined with the warlock Giselles, they can just shoot down all these skirmish cavalry from long range. While the skirmish cavalry are just running for their lives, trying desperately not to get caught in melee. Basically, the greenskins no longer can afford any effective melee engagements, as they only have skirmishing cavalry left, and all their melee killing power are routed off by the hero goon squads, the firepower, and also being dragged down in combat by the Skaven infantry. And Human Boy Yes will be claiming victory with his chevron defensive formation. So before we go into the army performances, just want to say a big thanks to Human Boy Yes and Voins for playing in my tournament, showcasing some amazing battles, as these two are some skillful players of high caliber. Also big thanks to Human Boy Yes for sending in this replay and showing us this unique formation for the Skaven. Skavens have always suffered a huge problem against rush armies due to their fragile frontline, but I think that with this kind of layered deployment, maybe the weakness in their infantry can be amended by using layers and layers of weaker troops, blocking the advance of enemy armies. Now for army performances, the Skaven slaves and clan rats basically got fed into the green tide one after the other, using their lives and bodies to delay the advance of the greenskin infantry and monsters. In the end, not a lot of value, but this bought time for the missile units, especially the Ikik-Zap-Zap, who has been firing the whole game to dish out some massive pain against the enemies. The giant river troll had got sniped out before she even got into combat. The stone trolls got hit hard by the warp lightnings. One of them got some value, but not enough to earn back their cost. As for the other missile troops, they did not do as well. Same goes for the red ogres here, mostly there to countercharge and stop the greenskins' advance. However, the character squad, the plague priest on the plague furnace, did some nice pestilent breath. Plague furnace is also great damage dealer against the greenskin infantry, and of course, Deathmaster, always a lethal combatant, able to take out Grimgor and some of the stone trolls. As for the greenskin army, The Green Tide push was totally stunted by the Skaven chaff. One of the stone trolls was able to get a good surround on the Hellpit Abomination, dish out some nice damage, but the other one just got smashed by the Warp Lightning cannons. And the Skirmish Cavalry didn't really have a good target to engage here. Human Boy did a great job in screening out the Skirmish Cavalry, and the characters got sniped out by a combination of single entities from the Skaven end. The Rock Lobbers did some okay damage against the weapons teams, but honestly in the end, there are not a lot of good targets for them to shoot at, as all these infantry are just cheap chaff. So that's basically it for today's battle. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe to get notified every time I upload a new video. They'll be covering topics including battle replays like this one, wild army builds, and tips and strategies for Total War Warhammer 2 online multiplayer. And if you have any replays that you want to showcase, feel free to drop by my Discord or send in an email with the replay file attached. I'll be sure to check them out. And that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Tactical Lich, signing out.